Look at my nasty bed. It is so fucked up. It's even staining. Anyway, let's focus on this. Welcome to another Jarrett Wars. Piss 4400 corporate company. I want to talk about something that's been on my mind for quite some time. And I don't believe that was Stinson. And I say this because of the timing and evidence. The first thing that's on my mind is the fact that nobody watches this channel. Nobody even heard or care about Jarrett Wars, which in that respects I agree with the majority in the sense that okay, this channel's not taken seriously, which it doesn't. The only people that take it seriously is folks that a couple people that have a grudge over something to do with another person or subject or project, I should say. Give me a second. And that's the only thing that has been going on, basically. I have been in and out with the internet for quite some time, and even locals don't even like it. Even losers don't even like this channel. Give you one example so I can validate my case here. Daniel Minecraft commented on my channel one time. This was several months ago. I don't remember how many months, but it was several months ago. And he says that your content sucks. And, you know, I agree with him. But, even locals can't stand this. Uh, Another locale, Andrew Falasco, I made a comment. I says to him, well, if you're sick enough to fuck your own dogs and do all this other sick stuff, why don't you pick up one from the ground that's already dead and rest in peace and fuck it, I said. And as soon as I says this to Andrew, he blocked me it quickly as I post that comment. So, yeah, nobody cares about this channel. And what that one email that Stinson sent me, he really specified that I never even heard of you before. I never even seen you before, which I can tell by his mannerisms that he never seen me before, and he assumed. One of the things he says was, "Don't follow Gage the Doom guy and his evil cult." I quote from Stinson Hardwick. So, and at the same time that Andrew did a video about something, Andrew Falasco, Stinson commented uh, yesterday on that guy's video. So I proposed a test to see if I was right about my theory. I did a video upload of reading well, it's not the whole book, but it's all of the demo portion of Stenson Hartwig's book, Not in Service Part 1. And I allowed comments once to see if Stenson Hartwig would comment. I even told Stinson this in an email to see if he would flag it down, as people quote unquote says that he would. I even told Stinson that though I don't agree with the things that you have in your book, I will read it in an unbiased way, which mostly when I did was a review, but it was an unbiased review in the way that it was just nothing but me reading it. Um, you know, simple as that. And that's all I said with the guy. I ain't heard nothing else from him ever again ever since. Now, for Hatman, I had no idea those videos that he had were removed. I actually was kind of sad that they were removed because it kind of shows some kind of comical. Parts of it was funny, and yeah, a lot of things. Like when anyone that comes to Stinson, it's like they're in for a big world of loopholes, and that's one of the problems. I mean, I've seen people like Stinson, and I mean, I've been in special ed all my life. I never once went to regular ed, so I came natural to seeing people like him, you know. So they have their own little world, their little thing and stuff like that. And I told Stinson that repeat a couple times that I did not agree with his book, but I will review it exactly as you say, or exactly as you put the things you put down in your book. And so it's more like a story time where everybody gathers in the library and some librarian or some woman or some person reads a book until it ends. Of course, that wasn't the end of the book because it wasn't even the full chapter 4. It was like a portion of chapter 4, and then it got omitted, from the demo, Google demo thing. You have to buy the actual book, the ebook, in order to read the rest of it. Um, which consists of just, I mean, there's other people that did videos about Sensons, and I don't think I need to say anything more. Uh, but you know, I just feel in my mind that when they interviewed Stinson, some of them did have a biased attitude, and I understand their biased attitude because it's in the context of children and protection of children. But I say that it would have been better to just ask the questions and let the person that you interview talk. Of course, people, I noticed in 90% of the reviews regarding Stinson, it's like, uh, I think it's sick what you're doing. You're fucked up and all this other crap and all this shit. And yeah, this stuff is true. But this all I've heard in these interviews. Nobody ever sat down and literally just, you know, let the interview itself take its course. So you have to have a professional kind of sophisticated attitude when you interview even controversial people. Jesse Lee Peterson, for an example, interviewed Amos Yee. I actually did a search on Amos Yee, and the way he interviewed him is a lot better than what the people on the internet interview someone like Amos or somebody like what you call it, Stenson Hartwick. I almost forgot your name. Just bear with me. So yeah, there's a lot going on here, and you know, I had this shit happen before where someone actually flagged down my videos, and this was back in 2018. Pretended that there was Jared and made me think it was Jared that flagged down my video, and then Jared video or channel got taken down at the same time, and the person that did it he admitted to me on Facebook, the one Facebook account I had, and I said to him, "Why would you do something like that?" I asked him, and I quote from that person because I wanted to make someone, I just wanted to make fun of you people and just have fun. And I says in my mind, that's a pretty stupid thing that you've done. I didn't say that to him, but I said that in my mind because I guess he wanted me to give him some kind of anger attention, which I don't do that easily. You have to push me real hard in order for me to do something like that easily. I mean, the closest thing I've said was if anyone said half of the made up shit to my face and came up to me in public because my life is a piece of shit and I have nothing to lose, I'll probably punch the fuck out of them. That's the closest thing that I came to any kind of hostility, you know, as far as I'm concerned. Because it's just it's no excuse, you know. There's no excuse or anything. And the injustice of it is just sickening, you know. Most times when I see even professional interviewers, they always have a biased attitude towards the other side. Like, you know, Gage the Doom guy quote that Fox News has an extremely biased attitude towards conservatives. Thus, CNN has an extremely biased attitude against liberals and the left. Most of the time, what it really boils down to is we have a biased president. Regardless whether if you like him or don't like him, he is pretty biased against the left. He's biased against anybody that is any kind of living shape. And he's obviously biased against people with low incomes because in the earlier 1980s interview with him, he stated in that talk show that I don't rent to low income recipients, because he felt that he wasn't going to get as much money off of the system. And so he was kind of biased then. So, I mean, it's not, I mean, he always was kind of a biased person, this Donald Trump character. And you're seeing it now more worldwide in the White House. So like him or don't like him, I'm calling it as I'm seeing it. And getting to my point here, a lot of you people are so biased in the interviews. Instead of just looking at the material and just ask questions, and then maybe in the end you have your last briefing as far as a comment or an opinion to what you think of all this overall. And but yet, you know, I have seen all kinds of people who took seriously um, the interview in a way that, you know, okay, I'll be fair. You're not getting paid for this. Nobody's on your throat watching you how you're doing as far as proper customer service. So people can just talk to you how any way they want because you're not being paid for this. I understand that. I get it. But there's still some decorum that you got to do. You know, you go to a justice system, and if they tried a convicted felon or a person that even did worse, um, or a person that murdered their whole fucking family, for instance, the judge is not going to freak out and go, you know, you're such a piece of shit, all this other crap. No. Um, Everything in the proceedings is in a professional matter. The only people that speak their feelings personally are the families of those victims or victim. So there has to be some kind of decorum with people, because if not, then there's confusion going on in the battery. I mean, Gage. I mean, I think he tries to mean well in his interviews, but again, it could be a bit professional. I mean, maybe he tries to. I mean, he's just being more of himself than the interviewer. And when you step out on the lines of being an interviewer, you're supposed to kind of step out of parts of yourself, not all the way, but just half of yourself. When I see these people, it's more like their self. And I had an idea about something. I was thinking about when I might interview Stenson Hardwick just for fun. Um, he was very responsive to me as far as I'm concerned. He was very, very responsive, and I think it's really interesting. So I'm gonna go. Again, I don't agree with Stenson. There are things I do agree is this, that a lot of people are biased to things. And it's not based on a conservative propaganda, but it's based upon solely the situation that these people just have a personal anger towards something. And you know, that's all I'm gonna say. It really is like that in a sense. Um, all right, I'm gonna go. Sorry about that. I had a little moment, and something else I was trying to think of that I agree with Stinson on. I think it was the biasm. Um, but a lot of people are biased. I have people that are biased to me for the dumbest reasons. And for an example, no one takes this channel seriously, which why should they? It's the stuff, the content is not worthy of it. Um, but even if I made a good content, they still be biased because they're so used to what they're seeing for quite some time. Um, Now there's one thing I do agree with Stinson. There's a second thing I do agree with Stinson on, and it's this: that if you disagree with a person, you have to treat them respectfully, and that all these people seem to say respect is earned, not given. Well, there is a certain level of decorum that you have to provide to people when you interview them. It doesn't matter what they've done to you or your friends and your family. If you're serious in interviewing that person, that you interview that person. You don't let your personal feelings out. You don't find no one else in the job working at McDonald's and letting their personal feelings out about somebody and spending all day spastically going around and just bitching about something that happened to them or their family or something all this time. Because that's what most of these people seem to do. Um, so I am gonna go. Um, Goodbye.